so far as the creation of a legal institute for elite class. And you refer the Tariq as Babi Bhagavati Hind. But in real sense, each and every man or women from any sector of Muslim society, they got admission there right from the very beginning till date, and they got highest positions. I think you have created a kind of misunderstanding about Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan.
Good question. But it is not a fact that people from the lower caste became a higher position. Till now, there no VC from the VC community became a VC of that university, MU. This is a fact. And Asaba Kawati Hind and his khutbat delivered in Jalandhar, delivered in Lucknow. Please refer this one. How can they discriminate? How can he use the words for the OBC Muslims? But Zaat Jula hai, जिनका तार टूट गया था, वो इस हंगामे गर्म जोश थे. दिस काइंड ऑफ वर्ड ही यूज्ड. एंड उसने बहुत कोशिश की कि ब्रिटिश को ये बताया जाए कि जो अपर कास्ट मुस्लिम्स हैं वो आपके साथ हैं, जो हंगामा कर रहे हैं, गदर जो इन्होंने किया है, जुलाह ने किया है. इन हिज वर्ड असा बगावत हिंद. एंड एक उनकी किताब है सिद्दीकी साहब की, जो जामिलिया में थे, सर सैयद खान एक सियासी मुताला. उसमें खुद उन्होंने मेंशन किया कि वहाँ 3 कैटेगरी था खुद अपर कास्ट लड़कों में, अपर, लोअर एंड लोएस्ट. हॉस्टल्स थे वहाँ, खाने अलग मिलते थे, रहाइशगाह अलग थी उनकी. तो अब जहाँ तक उनके जितनी जो फ्रीडम मिला है आफ्टर 1947, बिफोर आपको नहीं दिखा सकते उस चीज़ को.
This was a strategy of Sir Ahmad Khan to convince the British people. But in real sense, I know the people who became the chief ministers and the ministers and lawyers and chief justice also. I'm from Jola is from lowest strata of the society. From ST, far from J&K, they became the judges of High Court. Why you are searching for? There was no VC. I think this is in real sense. The Aligarh was for all people, open. This is the real fact. Theory, what he has written, that is separate thing.
We are talking about the Aligarh, not talking about the India. Okay. Just Sayyid. So we have to limit our talk about Sayyid and Aligarh. Till now, in my life, when I was in Aligarh, that students, even Bairaz, talking about that Bairaz caste, he's a Dalit, he's the Dhobi, he's the Hajam, and students also. And one my professor, who is a professor in Aligarh, in science department, informed me that in the theology mosque, he was reading Quran. That time that professor was talking, nowadays Julahes and lower caste Muslims became imam. How is the very worst thing now? And in every writing of Sayyid about the Muslim OBC caste, you can see humiliation. Never he raised, never in between the line in his words, he didn't accept OBC Muslims as Muslim. He used that Peshawar Qaume, never Muslims. It is my study, and I hope and I will feel better than give correct information. That jazbat is different thing and facts is different thing.
What you referred to Maulana Maududi. What was his ideas about the caste hierarchy?
He also supported caste-based endogamy. And first he refused that that in his the Salam Masail in Tafhim al-Quran and Salam Masail Jil number 2, volume number 2 and volume number 3 like this. Tafhim al-Quran in that chapter is there. In that interpretation of Surah Hujurat, ayat number 13. He's advocated kafar based on caste.
Ahmad Thanvi that he was in favor of that the Sayyid lady or women cannot marry non-Sayyids. But his colleague Maulana Anwar Shah Kashmiri, he was from Shayukh, but he married a Sayyid in his own
I talked about the Mufti Usmani, not about that Anwar Shah Kashmiri. Because of that Anwar Shah Kashmiri's son, Anwar Kashmiri, Kalimuddin became Sayyid. I know, but I know. I mentioned in my book. I have. No, we are. The, practically is there, theory is there. From beginning, Quran theory is different, but ulama is interpreting the different type of interpretation. My point of view is that.
What about the role of Sufis in India? Does ever the Khaja Ajmeri or Nizamuddin Awliya, they have advocated this kind of caste hierarchy in society?
I didn't find anything that all scholars are mentioning that Sufis preach Islam and Islam is because of Sufism. But we have to read again and again that their work among Dalits are tribals. one Angrez scholar, British scholar, I think American or Britisher, wrote about that book. There is the work among tribals, not that among Dalits.
Face Dalit Muslims, at least Pasmanda Muslims, which face in the North India. Could you explain a little more on that? Actually, factual things. What kind of violences you have been facing through?
The violence among Dalit Muslims is not like a Hindu caste system. Some places like Champaran and some in Bihar and UP, Dalit Muslims not allowed to bury their dead bodies in a general graveyard, and they're not allowed to pray in mosque. It is rare, not common, but it is existing there. And the separate graveyard in UP is there, in Bihar is there. In my village, I also saw that there is a graveyard, but all community, all castes have a separate place. Nobody understands that it's a caste base. But if you go in deep, I think this is a caste base from beginning. And 2006, that Tahalka published a report about the Bakho community in Patna. Okay, that upper caste Muslims never enter in the house of that Bakhos. They are considering as a achut. And Professor Imtiaz Ahmad mentioned in his article that one sweeper lady used to come his house to clean that toilet. His mother have good relation with that lady and talking a long time. But when she wants to give anything to that sweeper lady, never she touch her hand. She told just wrap your dupatta and just put from there, like that Hindus doing with Muslims in villages till now.
There was some like when I was speaking to some of my friends who speak about caste in Islam also, they were saying there were mosques also getting burnt. There were issues. So that kind of violence. And also I remember there was one of the incidents also where there was a big attack on Dalit Muslims, in the sense Pasmanda Muslims. So that could you go a little further and explain a little more about that?
This incident happened in the Champaran, West Champaran. In the name is that Bariya Allahpur, like this village. Before in 2009, after that continuing going on there, they have separate mosque, they have a separate graveyard, and this thing is not new. This is from beginning. That Ghaus Ansari's book published in 1960, the Muslim caste in Uttar Pradesh, a study of cultural quartet. He mentioned that Lalbegi Muslims, means Sifar Muslims, not allowed to pray in mosque. And same thing happened in Gorakhpur, that the Nawab, that the Zamindars of Gorakhpur have fixed a tax for the Julahas to give to be living there in Gorakhpur. They have fixed a tax, and there's a long there's a FIR in that Thana, and went to that police station, then went to the court. And from this book compiled in that case only, that I think Mahmood Elahi from Gorakhpur University, he has that book.
Right now, for example, there's a question of Muslim itself. For example, there are many people, innocent Muslims have been picked up and put behind bars. So that, could you categorize? Because one of my friends was saying he could categorize it. But in your experience, do you think that the state sees you differently and the state sees them differently like that?
This This is a state discrimination, I think, because where the Muslims are in progress, like Azamgarh, like Darbhanga, like Gaya, that Indian intelligence are targeting that areas. Yeah, you cannot. It is that is the caste based. It is just against the Muslims, not that particular caste. Maybe that somebody told me that even that Muslims in intelligence doing same thing what other doing for just for promotion and something else. So we cannot say this is a caste. Maybe that in like the Mushib Hussain book, Who Killed Karkare, he mentioned there that in IB the all are Brahmins. They are using it, that government sources against Muslims and against the minorities, against Dalits like this. So it is I think if they are doing, maybe they have categorized Muslims as the fifth and sixth categories, like in the Achut and other Malich. So I think they have used doing this thing as a Malich, considering Muslims as Malich.
There is one point to take is among Muslims when you talk about the discriminations which is faced, and also there are caste based also, like when you say Sayyids are overrepresented in the government jobs and all various places. So that do you find that the innocent Muslims who are picked up in large numbers, who are picked up and behind the bars on trial based, do you think that even there are many Sayyids, irrespective of caste, there are equal representation? Could you say like that, or else because, for example, in Hyderabad, let us take, there is a big political families are there, 2-3 families. Do you think that even those political families, the police can catch hold of them and put behind the bar in the name of what they do for any other Muslims? So does that happen like that? Or is there any?
No, this is not a political family. I think elite have always reservation. Nobody can go into touch elites. Either in one place that Azamgarh, that Amir Shadi's son was caught, but when he launched that moment, he freed and nobody going to touch him. And many other students are caught by police after that also.
There is one place, in UP there is one place, I forgot that place name, which is a highly dominated by a Muslim community. And every time the police and the state targets that a particular area, saying that this is a so-called terrorist living there. Azamgarh. Could you explain why important Azamgarh is? Why because they were also saying that Azamgarh is one place. When I was talking to different people, they said Azamgarh is one unique place where there are Muslims who come out openly on streets and like that. So that could you elaborate more about Azamgarh?
In the beginning, I told this is where the Muslim in progress, means the prosperous, wealthy Muslims. Azamgarh Muslims went Gulf, and they have earned money, came and built houses and opened shops. They have targeted them. Now that in Gaya Muslims are very wealthy, in Darbhanga, Bihar, now that intelligence shifted from Azamgarh to these places now.
One question is this parliament, the representation of Muslims. Who are those Muslims? Could you tell the list? And in UP, from UP, there are Pasmanda movement. North India has a big Pasmanda movement. And could you also speak about how these two communities are represented?
It is a fact that in parliament and assemblies in UP and Bihar already dominated by upper caste Muslims. In Bihar, there mostly are Sheikhs, and UP mostly are upper caste, you can say in general. Not a very less number of OBC and Dalit Muslims is there. Dalit Muslims very rare. This is minus point. I didn't mention my book all caste names. I just categorized that division, OBC and upper caste, like this.
So there is one argument people keep forward. There is one new argument kept by Pasmanda movement, Patna Collective. I suppose, I am not sure, but they say that the communal politics, the Hindutva communal politics, rakes up the communal politics only to suppress the caste question. Therefore, they derive some writings, they derive with something. So that do you believe that kind of an understanding, the communal politics is always to suppress the question of caste? So that if you believe it, could you explain it?
Yes, I believe I have that historical evidences about it. When that Dalit movements started that agitation against caste, From that time that Hindu Mahasabha and RSS started that communalization of the politics. And you can read them in Mushrif books, that who killed Kakare. He have given many historical evidences that because of Dalit movement, that caste, communal rights started. And it is a fact that who are in power, he wants to save their power. So either in the name of caste, in the name of religion, this is a fact.
Mandal Commission agitation and Babri Masjid after getting demolished. So is there any connection you mean to say? So could you explain that more?
So in Mandal Commission, that time I was in Mandal Commission, in Bihar especially, that Yadavs have a lot of agitation against that Brahmins, and violence is going on in Bihar and UP. And because to that Advani ji started Rath Yatra, and he, one in his speech he told that I saved the Hindu community by launching Rath Yatra. And from the caste conflict, they started the religion conflict. And if he did not start that Rath Yatra, I think that time that Indian society divided more and more. And RSS strategy always, that nowadays RSS making that Dalits, the pujari of temple, they are going to Arya Samaj, and RSS going to that Dalit houses to eat and drink. But never, and it is in Manusmriti, it is called that in the time of trouble, you can eat that and drink the water of the Dalit also.
Categorize like caste in Hinduism, like there is hierarchies like laddas, caste laddas. Like in Islam, can you explain how this particular hierarchy, like first this sort of, can you make such a distinction in Muslims also?
Like among Muslims, like Hindus, there is a system is there. Like Brahman is equal to the Sayyid is equal to Brahmin among Muslims. They are claimed also, and I think among Muslims, the upper caste have many categories. Some persons came to that Central Asia. Some persons converted from the upper caste Hindus. They went to the fold of upper caste Muslims, like Brahman. And you go that book of Dr. Sayyid Iqbal Hussain, the Tariq Shiraz-e-Hind, Tariq Jaunpur. He mentioned there that time that upper caste people converted in Islam became upper caste. Like in Allahabad, that Professor Imtiaz have a study field work there, that Kaist became Muslim. Now they are writing surname Siddiqui. And in generally in India, that time on which hand they are converted Islam, they became this. But that OBC and Dalit Muslims converted, they went in the full of the same category. One very interesting point I want to raise, that Josh Malihavadi is a very Urdu scholar, and he wrote in his book Yadon Ki Barat that he always avoided to meet Patel. Once Jawaharlal Nehru told to go and meet him, he told no, he is a communal person, I cannot meet. No, you have to meet. And he phoned that Patel that I am sending that Josh Malihavadi. When he went, that Patel asked him, I heard that you are thinking me, you are considering me as the anti-Muslim. He told, yes, it is correct. No, you are wrong. I am not against Muslims, upper caste Muslims who came from, like you, who came from Central Asia, Saudi Arabia, what means Arab countries. I am against that OBC Muslims and Dalit Muslims who were Dalit, and after being Muslim, considering themselves equal to me, I am against them, not you. So this is the, I think his question that caste and communal politics, from beginning, RSS mind people, from beginning they are division. And today, if that all marginalized section will be one, if he will be against the RSS, then his communal politics will be over.
likewise in Hindu society, like we have the markers of caste, so in the Muslim society, especially I'm asking in the northern belt in Bihar and all, can we like in the public sphere and all, do they have the markers of caste, like by looking the people, Muslims, like can we understand he's a Pasamanda Muslim or any such public markers, like in the public? What I mean to ask is, in the public sphere also this discrimination is evident, or like are they practicing it in the public?
No, in public you cannot recognize who is the Paswada, who is the upper caste. And nowadays, that caste conflict nowadays in UP and Bihar, generally that middle class families and elite. I told you in beginning, elites have no reservation to marry anywhere. If any elite can get the good groom, a good bride, they can marry him. But identity of this kind of this caste, that caste is not cannot recognize that who is from this caste, public place. Either you will be live in the village, in a particular area, they cannot. After sometimes you understand that this is a caste, that is caste.
So regardless of one's, for example, if a lower caste Muslim, he has education, he has better position in society, like better job. Even then, while he searched for a life partner, he will not be able to get one from the Saids or Khans. Is that the case?
No, please can you repeat your question?
Like for example, you are a Muslim, you have good education, PhD, you are a doctor, you have better education. Even then, while you are searching for your life partner, you don't find a match from the upper strata of the society.
For a life partner, I think nowadays that parents have no power to control their childs, and either male or female. So now after the 1947 and after the modern education, this kind of conflict is going to be less. And if someone liking someone, so who can will prevent you? But my objection is that either marriage is between same caste or other caste is not problem. Preventing someone to from marriage with some other, that is a problem. Like, nobody has right to prevent someone. Now rigidness is very today going to be over, but still is there. But many places. Yeah, same thing is that in Maghreb, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar also there, many examples. I have mentioned in my book many examples that so many girls, so many boys were killed due to the intercaste marriages among Muslims. And there's once, yes. I didn't know about Khap Panchayat, but the family are reacting. And sometimes, once I read in news, I quoted my book, that a boy from, even from OBC Muslims, from Taylor caste, girl from Taylor caste and boys from that Mayo caste, became married, and the brother of the girl killed her, killed the girl, and that was Muzaffarnagar, Nagar in UP, Western UP. And many examples there. Once one Maulana in Delhi informed me that in Muzaffarnagar, a boy is from Ansari caste. He is also a MBBS doctor. And a girl also a MBBS doctor from the Quraishi caste. They married. And that parents, the girl's parents asked the boy and girl after 2-3 years, come our house. it is over. And when they entered the house, they killed in pieces and burned their bodies in the front of the hundred of people.
How do you see this is broadly you are talking about Sunnis, right? So there is this other sect called Shia.
Yes.
So what is there a sort of discrimination from the side of Sunnis towards Shia? Have you
No, we are talking about the caste system, not about the school of thoughts and cults. So we are not going to talk about that one. The discussion is there, fighting is there. I will live in Lucknow. That Sunni and Shia are always fighting. That in a year, 1 and 2% were killed because of that conflict. But my study about the caste, not that conflict, that sector. And if you ask me about the caste among Shias, can I explain you? Because among Shias that caste is very visible, and the Shia sect is based on caste, because they have that Shia sect is based on caste because they are preferring the Hazrat Ali. He's the cousin of the Prophet Muhammad, and always in his dua that Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Al means Panjatan Pak, means Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, Hassan, Hussein, and Sunni not following this one. And Shias that the alim, when the religious scholar among Shias, have a black turban, a green turban. It is a fixed. And if the mustahid, mustahid means a person who is very big scholar and can bring some rules deriving from Quran and Hadith. If this level any alim will reach, that can be mustahid with only Sayyid, not other caste. And all that religious things headed by Sayyid. The Khomeini was Sayyid and Khamenei was Sayyid. Everyone is Sayyid. Yeah.
there is this Muslim personal board, Muslim personal board. So how do you see the members of the Muslim personal board? The demography of the Muslim personal
99% are upper caste Muslims there. 99%. Sayyid, upper caste Muslims, Sayyid, Khan, Sheikh.
How many of them will be like lower caste OBC Muslims?
In my book, I didn't see anyone else that from OBC caste, SC caste. All are there from upper caste. I have given historically from that beginning of Muslim Islam board till now, that all members, all presidents are upper caste. First president that Maulana from Devand, Maulana Qari Tayyab Sahab is upper caste. Second was Maulana Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi, upper caste. Third was that Maulana Abul Hasan Nadwi, Mujahid Islam Qasmi, upper caste. Fourth was that Rabi Hasan Nadwi is upper caste.
Is it because there is not enough ulamas from the lower caste?
Ulama is there, but power is not in their hand.
So there are lots of lower caste ulamas also.
Yeah, big ulmas. And that that Muhaddis is there, Mufassir is there, means, but they don't have power.
This is mostly your study is mostly in North India, or have you looked at southern part of India also?
No, I'm living in North India. I am familiar with culture of North India. So my observation is about North India. In South India, I have a little bit because I was in Hyderabad. I just interaction with people. So we don't have interaction with South India, Kerala like this. We cannot say confidently this is there. So my study basically from North India, just little bit from South India also, just from books, not with interaction.
So how is it like in North India? Like what about the case of newly converts? Like somebody who embraced Islam recently, how he was treated?
See, that two types are there. Some very orthodox Muslims are considering they are new Muslim, they are not equal to them. But who is the real Muslims and who want that preach of Islam, who want to that deliver the Islamic, correct Islamic thought, they are embracing that, accepting them. They are allowing marriage their families. I have many people who come to Islam, Dalit background, that many scholars and well-educated families allowed their daughters and sons to marry. I know many families. I like that Abdullah Danish. He's the Dalit background, but he converted a whole family. His sisters, his father, mother, he also. But their marriages in among Muslims, old Muslims, even Sayyid Muslims, upper caste Muslims. Sometimes they have problem, but I told that Orthodox Muslims who are following that old jurisprudence, that treating them that this is not equal as, but that persons who have the good spirit of Islam, basic knowledge of Islam, they are treating them as their brother. Myself, I am a victim of that. Because of my book, my many teachers victimized me in many interviews, in many places. Till now, my teacher in Genio, writing me in my paper, writing to the governor and chancellor against my job. Yeah, when I joined as a professor in Khalid Chishti, my one teacher wrote like this in governor, complaint at governor house. Means who is the chancellor of our university. In the newspapers also, he have a lot of campaign against me all over India. It is in Quran of how is Amri Allah. I give my it is called in Urdu. मैं अपने मामले को अल्लाह के हवाले करता हूँ. I am giving my matter to Allah. He look after. Thanks.